Hi, let's see if I even remember how to do this. Welcome to the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast. It has been a while, guys, and I am so sorry. It's been about 2 months since I last podcasted. This is episode number 29, and it is December 31st, 2017. So, I'm going to try to put all of the life updates at the end in case you guys are just here for the knitting, which, I always like the life updates when podcasters do it. So, yeah. Anyways, forgive me if I am rusty. Like I said, it's been 2 months. You will notice a location change if you watched my previous videos. So, my husband and I live in Arkansas, but I had gone out to California for about 5 or 6 months this summer to do IVF, because we weren't able to get pregnant on our own, so we needed a little bit of medical intervention. And I'm sorry if you can hear the chickens in the background. But I am now back in Arkansas, and our house is under construction. So we live in a tiny house, and I guess I'll put all this at the end. But I was trying to say, excuse the insulation and the half-walled walls. It's a mess, but it's a good mess, and I'll explain why at the end. So, anyways, if you guys are here for the knitting, let's talk knitting. I got back to Arkansas on Halloween, so just about 2 months ago. And like all of November, I was in a complete knitting funk. There was so much to do here at the house. There was so much to do with the animals, you know, playing catch up after being gone for 5 months. My husband, you know, he was here, like he stayed home, and had to work. But he was working, going to school, and taking care of the animals. So he was kind of in survival mode. So I was in, once I got home, I was in catch-up mode, trying to get everything just back to the way it should be. And, I mean, everybody survived, but we'd rather thrive than survive. So, all of November, I didn't really do any knitting. I did a few squares on my cozy memory blanket, which I actually don't have here to show you today, because I think it's in the car. It's like my go-to car knitting, because I can do it in the dark, I don't have to think about it, so I usually keep it in the car. That way if we get stuck somewhere, you know, if Tim has an appointment or something, then I always have knitting to do. So I don't have it to show you. I'll try to get it out next episode. But I do have a work in progress. So we are pregnant, and we are due in May, so we're on this coming Friday, we will be halfway there. So like I said, November I just was in a knitting funk, didn't really want to knit much of anything. December, it was like full on baby knits. All I want to do is knit baby things. It doesn't even matter if they're for me, like for our baby, or for other people's babies. They're quick, they're easy, they're fun, they don't use up a ton of yarn. And so I've been cranking out the baby knits. So my work in progress is the newborn vertebrae. This pattern is a free one on Ravelry, I believe. There's the newborn vertebrae, the baby vertebrae, and the mama vertebrae. And I've made the mama vertebrae before, and the baby vertebrae for a gift. But I'm making the newborn. Now, we are not finding out the gender of our baby. We want it to be a surprise. So I'm trying to do gender neutral things, and I'm trying not to do like too girly of patterns, or there's not really boy specific patterns, but the patterns for girls are super girly, like with ruffles and lace and all this stuff. But so the baby vertebrae pattern is a perfect pattern for, you know, either boy or girl. So it's a little cardigan. I'll show you the back first, and it is a work in progress, so it's still on the needles. And it is very neon, guys. So this is, let's see if I can hold it up. This is the back of the sweater. This little sleeve is done, and I'm just now on the ribbing on this one. And then the front of the cardigan, I still have to pick up and do ribbing, but it's an open front cardigan. So the thought is when your baby is newborn, you know, like they need that skin to skin contact. And if they're in clothes, they don't really get it. But sometimes in the hospital, you know, like the air conditioning's on, and so it's cold. So this sweater will cover, like, if the baby's right here, you know, on my chest, it'll cover the back and the arms, but the front of the baby will still be able to get skin-to-skin contact, you know, on me or on Tim or on whoever's holding it. So it is a super cool idea. You know, so that way the baby would be like this, and the back would be warm, and the arms would be warm, but it's still getting the skin-to-skin contact that it needs. So, I have to finish this little sleeve, and then you go and you pick up, you know, stitches all along the neckband, along here, the fronts of the sleeves, and then down the sides here. And I think you just knit for like an inch, maybe 1.5 inches. Or sorry, you do ribbing for 1.5 inches. And then it's done. So, I'm in the home stretch. I would really like to get it done today so that I can start a new project tomorrow, January 1st, but we'll see. It's already like noon. I slept in today, so we'll see how much I get done. But yeah, the yarn is dyed in the wool. I can't remember the colorway, but it really is that neon, guys. It's my first time ever working with dyed in the wool. I love it. It is super soft. It was doing a little bit of pooling here, like it zigzags, which is not my favorite, but it's not at all the dyer's fault. Like, I like this here. That's perfect for me. But it's just the way the pattern is and the stitch, how the stitch numbers fall. But I still love it, and I think it's going to be super cute. I am not really a pastel baby person. If you've watched any of my previous episodes, you know I like bright colors, I like bold colors. You know, I'll do like grays as accent colors, or as like the main color so I can do a bold accent color, but I like brights, so my baby is going to be in neon in the hospital. So that is my only work in progress, other than my cozy memory blanket, which I'm not going to count that as a work in progress because it's like a never-ending project. So every week or every episode I'm not going to tell you that my work in progress is my cozy memory blanket, because that would get very redundant. Hold on. I'm drinking kombucha. Okay. Cranberry. It's really good. It's really tangy and tart and vinegary. So, yeah, it's good. Oh, okay. If I can get the lid back on, right? Alright. So, finished objects. I have 4 to show you guys from December. I'll start with the baby knits because that has been, like I said, all I wanted to knit on. I knit, I have 3 baby knits here for our child, and then I knit one for my girlfriend's daughter-in-law who just had her baby this past week. So I already gifted that to them, so I don't have that here. But I will try to insert a picture so you guys can see that. But these are some of the cutest little pants ever. These are the Rocky Jogger pants by Tin Can Knits. And they're just these little pants. Like, so cute. They've got short rows on the butt. You can kind of see right here are the short rows. And like right there it curves down. Yeah. So I did modify this pattern because if you guys know me at all, you know I don't like to follow patterns to the T. So these pants are, they don't have ribbing here at all, or the pattern doesn't. It's got a fold over hem. It's a paper pattern, so I'm not going to give too much away. But just by looking at the picture, you can deduct that it has a fold over hem. So you knit for like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 inches or whatever. And then you do a purl ridge, and then you knit back the other way, and then you join them. And that way, you have like this pocket where you can put an I-cord belt in. Since I'm doing, all of these are the newborn size. Since I'm doing the newborn pants, they don't really need a belt. Like a 2-year-old, you might want that belt to cinch it up because they're going to be walking and crawling, and you know their pants might not stay up as well as a newborn. But the newborn's just gonna lay there. So, and I really don't like fold over brims or cuffs or whatever. I don't like them on hats. I don't like them on cuffs on sweaters. So I didn't want to do them on these pants. So I cast on the same number of stitches and just did ribbing instead of the fold over cuff. So these ones obviously do not have the I-cord belt, tie, whatever you would call it. I suppose if you didn't want to do the fold over, but you still wanted the belt, I could have done like a row of eyelets and then just wove an I-cord belt through that. But like I said, the newborn's just going to lay there, so the pants aren't really going to fall off. But super cute, just a neutral brown. This was a hedgehog sock yarn. All of these patterns or projects are linked on my Ravelry page. So in case you don't know, on Ravelry, I am Sergeant Griff's Girl. So it's SGTGRIFFS Girl, GIRL. And I've been trying to be super good about, as soon as I start the project, I put in the yarn, I put in the needles, I put in the colorway, so that way if I lose the ball band, like I have no idea where the skein is, or the half skein is, with the ball band for this one. So I can just go to my Ravelry page and see exactly what color I used. So it is hedgehog sock, I know that. Now, the hedgehog, just their sock yarn, I think it's like a 75-25 blend, and they're not my favorite yarn wise. I like an 80-20, I like a high twist, and you'll see why in a minute. I'll show you one that I did that I absolutely love that uses a high twist yarn. I just feel like, I don't know, it's totally personal preference. Some people hate high twist and they love a thin yarn like this, like a 75-20 or 25 if we can do math. But I mean, it's fine, it's cute. It does make a thinner fabric, so if that's what you're going for, then that's the kind of yarn you want to use. But just as far as personal preference, I like a high twist, like an 80-20 or an 80-10-10, if we want to add some cashmere in there. But yeah, so just hedgehog their sock. I did it in brown because I figured, oh, okay, so my thinking was if we have a girl and I want to girly it up on the butt here, I could pick up stitches and add like hot pink ruffles. Wouldn't that be so cute? Obviously I didn't do that because if we have a boy I'd have to take it all out, but if we have a girl and if I have time to embellish newborn pants, I could always add like 3 rows of hot pink ruffles across the butt. I just think that would be super cute. We are cloth diapering our baby, and so these pants are super good for cloth diapers because they have a very, like, the butt is like half of the pants, and in the pattern they even give you instructions to add extra length if you're gonna cloth diaper, just to cover that big fluff butt. But I think this will be fine. I didn't add any extra length. I just did it as written, and I already think the butt is huge. And you could always fold down the ribbing. You'll see the ends if I do it this way. But if the baby's not, you know, if the butt's not that big, you could fold down the ribbing like that. Yeah, and I'm sorry it's grainy, the video quality. It is like 20 degrees outside. They're calling for snow and freezing rain, and it's winter, obviously. So we haven't had sun in I don't know how many days, and we're not going to in the next week. So this is what you guys get. I'm filming on my bed, or our bed, because it is the spot with the most daylight. Just the way the sun hits the ridge and hits the windows, you get the most light here. So it might be a little bit grainy quality-wise, but you guys will get the most accurate color representation, and I won't be in the dark. So I don't have like artificial podcast lights. All of my lights are like up in the ceiling. So yeah, anyways, Rocky Jogger by Tin Can Knits, super cute pattern. It probably took me 2 days just because it was a lot of stockinette, so it does get kind of boring. But once you separate for the legs, it's like you're in the home stretch. So those ones were super fun and super cute. I'm sorry, I do have, it's not a cold, it's like pregnancy sniffles. I kept thinking it was a cold that just wouldn't go away. Like, I feel fine, I just have this congestion. And so I kept thinking it was a cold, and I was like, why isn't this going away? And so I would bring it up to my doctor, and she's like, oh no, like, you're gonna be stuffed up your whole entire pregnancy. It's something to do with your body's producing all this extra blood, and so like the membranes are swollen. I don't know, but it's like a thing during pregnancy that you're congested. So I'm sorry that I sound all gravelly and sniffly and whatnot. Okay, our next finished baby object is the Little Sister romper. I don't remember the designer name, but again, it's in my project page on Ravelry. And I have made this one before. I made this pattern when we were doing IVF out in California, and I did it in like a gray. And it was such the cutest pattern and super easy, super quick. It uses like half a skein of yarn, and so I just made another one. So it's like this. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at that. Like, it's so little and just so cute. Our baby's due in May, and so it's gonna be warm and like heading into summer. So I can't knit. I mean, I could, but I don't want to knit like heavy sweaters yet. Which is why all of my baby ones are in fingering weight, like they're lightweight projects. And then for like winter of next year, obviously we'll know what the gender of the baby is. So I can knit, you know, pink things or blue, like just more gender specific things for winter. So all of the baby knits that I'm knitting right now are summery baby knits. But I used buttons from my grandma's button jar. I inherited her button tin once she stopped sewing. So all of the buttons on this project and the next baby item are sentimental buttons that were my grandma's. So these are just two little wood ones, and then down here at the crotch I just added 3 more. They're not the same. I think these 2 are the same, and the middle one's different. So but yeah, it's super easy. It's hard to hold it up. Just like that. And then the back is higher up. So again, the yarn was Hedgehog Sock, just in this grayish brownish color, and I thought these would be super cute. Like, let's see if I can do it. Nope. With the pants. Like, won't that be so cute? It's not gonna stick like that. So guys, I'm obsessed with knitting things for the baby, and we still have like 4.5 months to go. So this baby is not going to be lacking in hand knits, which I love. Like, I would dress it all in hand knits if I could. But it is, I'm totally at peace with not finding out the gender, except when it comes to knitting, because there are so many cute gender specific patterns, and and then I know once the baby's here, I won't have nearly as much time to knit as I do now, and so once I know what the gender is, I won't have the time to knit all the girl things or all the boy things. So it's like a big catch-22, but we're fine with it. A lot of people wonder why we don't want to find out, especially with our first, and we feel like IVF was so calculated and so planned, and like every night at a certain time you had to do shots and you had to go into the doctor, you know, these certain days. Like, it was just so, I don't know what the word is, but not spontaneous. You know, like a lot of people I envy when they find out they're pregnant, you know, like they skipped a period or they're late, you know, and so they take the pregnancy test and it's you know, it's positive, and it's like, that's the big surprise, you know, is like, oh my god, we're pregnant. IVF, there was no surprise. Like, everything was so, I don't know what the word is, but so I want that element of surprise. Obviously, like, we were surprised if it worked or not, but at that point, like, you've been doing these hormone shots for like a month, and you've been doing everything, you know, for a few months, like leading up to IVF. So you're kind of thinking in your head, like, well, obviously it has to work because I've done all this, you know, crap to get here. Obviously it doesn't work, because for a lot of people it doesn't work on the first time, and some people it never works at all. So I mean, I was still surprised. I was still elated when the doctor called to say that it was positive, but even then, okay, so they call you and tell you 5 days after your transfer, you know, they call you and tell you what your blood test, if it said you were positive or not. So, you know, ours was positive, but you have to wait another 3 days because those numbers have to double. So whatever the number was, my number was like 52, I think. It has to double in 3 days, I think. Something like that. It had to go up to prove, because it could have been in, the first number could have been in the pregnancy range, but it could have been like it wasn't sticking. So if the 3-day number was going down, you weren't pregnant, or you weren't going to keep the baby. If the 3-day number was going up, you had a very good chance of keeping the baby. So even after you get the call saying you're pregnant, you're like, well, crap, now I gotta wait 3 more days to find out, am I pregnant and I'm losing it, or am I pregnant and I'm keeping it? Sorry, I got the sniffles. So it's just very, like, there's a lot of worry and a lot of waiting, and it's not like a normal, you know, like the exciting, we got a positive pregnancy test. So, all that is to say is that's why we really want to not find out the gender, is because I want that, you know, it's a boy or it's a girl at the time of delivery. So, is it worth it not to find out? I think so, but it is so hard, guys. Like, it is so hard not to find out. We registered, well, do you know what, I'll talk about that at the end. Okay, you guys want knitting. So, anyways, my most favorite baby knit I think that I have ever made is this onesie. And the title is like, it's in some foreign language, and I can't even pronounce it, but it's like the T-R-I-J-U, I don't even know. Once again, sorry, I gotta change legs. It is on my Ravelry project page, and I posted pictures of this on Instagram, and I hashtagged it with whatever the title was of the pattern. So if you guys go to Instagram, I'm Jessica Ruth Knits there too, same as the podcast. And you guys can click on the hashtag and see, you know, the other ones people have made. And of course, I altered this pattern too, but I'll show you first and then I'll tell you what I did. Guys, look at that. It is a little onesie. That's the back of it and the front of it. So once again, it's got my grandma's buttons. Now, I thought this was blue when I picked it out. It's like a purple, which is fine. But I picked it out late at night using a flashlight because my husband was sleeping down here, like downstairs in the bed, and my yarn is upstairs in the storage loft. And so there's no lights or anything up there because it's basically like an attic. So I'd gone up with my flashlight because I really wanted to knit something for the baby. And I picked out, I thought it was like a denim-y blue. Because I was like, denim blue is perfect, you know, boy or girl. And then I started knitting on it, and the next morning I was like, oh, that's purple. But, so it's a little bit girly. I'm not sure if we have a boy if we'll put it on, or if I'll gift it to somebody that has a girl. But I love the neon yellow buttons. Once again, from my grandma's button tin. I feel like that was so ahead of the times to have neon buttons then. And then down here, I just used, like, are they black? Yeah. Just plain black buttons, because they're gonna be, you know, either under the baby's crotch or in pants, and so I didn't want to waste the cute yellow buttons down in the crotch. And these buttons are like, they're raised up, and so they're a little bit more delicate, so you're not going to be undoing these ones as much as you will the crotch. Maybe the top one to get the head in. But the neck opening, like, it's pretty big. I mean, it stretches. So I don't even know if you would need to undo these. But the crotch ones, you're going to be undoing, you know, for diaper changes. So I wanted those to be more of a, like a workhorse button than the cute decorative ones. So, okay, what did I do differently on this pattern than the pattern calls for? Now, if you guys have seen this pattern, it's supposed to have the buttons go all the way down here. And the onesie is supposed to open up, like, it opens up completely. Like, it unbuttons all the way to here. And I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of that. Let me see if I even have it on my phone. And if I can look while I talk. I wasn't really a big fan of having buttons go all the way down the side of the baby, and I'm thinking if you're holding it, you know, like you're going to be holding all those buttons, and it's not going to be there. Is it under the T's? No. Okay, I'm not going to waste time looking for it. And, you know, like, I don't want those buttons to be popping undone all the time, or just having to deal with all of them. And so what I did was, the pattern is top down. It is a pay-for pattern, but I won't give anything away. So I followed the pattern until I got to here, and then I just, so there's like, I don't know, 5 stitches or 4 stitches, you know, on each, on the front side, and then there's like the same number of stitches here for the button band. I just ate those up, so I got rid of all of them. Well, first I 3 needle bound off the stitches, like this band and this band. So let's say you have 5 stitches and 5 stitches. You put them over each other and you knit them together, so then they become 5 stitches instead of 10 stitches. Then, because those stitches, it would have made this side of the onesie, if I joined it and didn't delete the stitches, it would have made this side of the onesie 5 stitches wider than this side of the onesie. And I didn't want that. So just over the next like 2 rows, I just decreased, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together. And then the next row I knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and then knit 2 together. Something like that. To get rid of those 5 stitches. So then after this point, it's equal on either side of the onesie. And then you had to, because the pattern is knit, excuse me, because it's written flat, you know, it's a knit 1 row, purl 1 row, knit 1 row, purl 1 row. So since I joined it in the round, I had to be very vigilant about, like, the purl rows are your rest rows, you know, with the lace and the cables. But since I was knitting all around, I had to be very vigilant on if I was on a purl row or a knit row. So even though I would be knitting, I would say, I'm on a purl row, you know, mentally in my head. So that way the cables and the lace didn't get messed up. But it's got the sweetest little cable down the side, these little lace, these or whatever they are. Amber of the Yarn Junkie, she just changed her Instagram name to the Wool Pig, I think. She just knit this pattern. She just had a little baby girl. She knit this pattern, but instead of doing the lace, she just did stockinette. So that would make it more gender neutral if you did it that way. I think she just didn't want to deal with the lace. But if you did stockinette, you would still have these cute cables, and just not the lace. So I want to do this again. A couple things I would do differently on the second one is I would make the butt longer. It's hard to show you. See how they're like the same, the butt and the front? I would make the butt scoop more. So the butt, I would add like short rows. Kind of like in the Rocky jogger pants. This is the front. There's extra length in the butt. Just because when babies are wearing diapers, you know, their butt is curved. So I think I would do that on this one. And I would just add the short rows in the bottom, like in the butt, to make that a little bit more accommodating, especially for cloth diapering. This one is an 80-20 or an 80-10-10, but it's a high twist, and so sorry, it just size-wise, like these are both newborn sizes, but look at the difference. Granted, the purple one has more stitches, but if you were to knit this same exact pattern, like same needles but with the high twist yarn, it would come out bigger, just by the nature of the high twist. Like, I know I'm not explaining it very well, but what it comes down to is I like a high twist yarn better than I like not a high twist yarn. So yeah, that is my baby onesie. It is my absolute, I'm gonna button it back up, my absolute favorite baby thing I have ever knit, and I just think it's the sweetest thing. Like I said, I'll knit it again in a more gender neutral color, and I may or may not omit the lace. Yeah, super cute. Okay, that is all of my baby knits. I have one more finished object, and it is a hat, because like I said, it's been freezing here. Sorry, I'm trying to pick the cat hair off it because I don't know if you guys can see. No. There's a cat right here. I know. Did I wake you up? This is my husband's favorite cat, Streaker. He named it right before I left for California. One of our cats had kittens. And so when I left, they were still too little. You know, like, they had just barely opened their eyes and they weren't very fun yet. So Tim got to deal with having the kittens, and, you know, finding homes for them. So we ended up keeping 2 of the kittens. He thought they were both girls. They're both boys. And I guess you get the name Streaker when you let your husband name a cat. I have no idea if he named it Streaker because it was, you know, like running around the house, like streaking, or I don't know. He's a guy. Yeah, so the cat's been on the bed, and I've been keeping all of my knits away from the cats, but I just put them all on the bed to show you guys. So anyways, I knit this hat. What's the yarn? Oh, I think it's Jinx yarn. This is really fun blue, purpley, aqua hat. It's just a basic, it's gonna look really bad right now, but it comes down enough past my ears to keep them warm. And I knit this one because I have some really awesome pom-poms, and I really wanted to knit like a big hat with a big pom-pom. Well, I went to sew the pom-pom on, and it's too big, guys. This pom-pom is huge. Like, I ordered it on Etsy, and, you know, like, you order the sizes, you know, there's like 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch. I think this is an 8-inch pom-pom. When you're ordering it, you don't have it in front of you to look at to see, like, oh, that's too big for anything. So I ordered the biggest one they had. And it is huge, guys. It's like as big as my face. So if I put this, like, what do I even use this for? I mean, look at, I look ridiculous. It is like legitimately too big for anything. So I tried to put it on my hat, and it just looked super silly. It's so heavy. It's like real, I don't know if it's fox fur. It came from another country. It's super soft. And I have to keep all my pom-poms. Right now they're in my fringe bag. Which I'll show you guys. Like, how cute is this? My little pin collection. Half of them are Starbucks ones from when I worked at Starbucks. But this way the cats won't get into them, because since they're real fur, they don't smell like too real. I mean, they smell kind of good, like wool wash. But I just don't want the cats to think they're play toys. But guys, seriously, what do I do with this? Like, look, it's bigger than my fist. So, I don't know. This was the one I had planned to put on this hat. I thought black would be super cute, but it's too big. My maternity coat for the winter is black, so I thought that would match. So, I do have another one. Is it in here? Yeah. This one, which is smaller, more manageable. like, that's a more, it's still big, but it's still big. That looks like my hair. This one's the fox one. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, it smells like a fox. Or what I think a fox would smell like, because I've never actually smelt a fox. But I don't think this color would go with that. So even though this pom-pom is the right size, not for this hat. So I don't know. I mean, this hat is fine on its own. That's kind of boring without a pom-pom, but I guess I'll just have to keep looking for a better pom-pom than the black one, because it's way too big. So can you guys see how much bigger the black one is? I don't know, they're both so furry, they look the same. Speaking of pom-poms, I ordered these ones. They're all tangled. I forget the girl. I ordered them on Etsy. After I saw on somebody's podcast, they recommended these. And I ordered, sorry, they're all tangled. So what I did was I ordered 3 of the bigger ones, which are totally more manageable. This is like the right size for a hat. That's way better. So I ordered, oh, they're so flip-floppy. Okay, hold on. There's a gray one. These are all faux fur. A white one. And the fox colored one. That one. And then what I did was I ordered the same 3 colors in baby pom-poms. Look at how little. So my plan is to knit me a hat and then to knit a hat for the baby, and we'll use like the mom and the baby pom-poms. Won't that be so fun? So these ones, like, they look like little fur creatures from some like horror movie. Just because they're so little, and I don't know. But I'm super excited about all of these weird, like, look at the white one. It just looks like something you'd find under your bed. You know, like if you had a white fluffy dog and it lost some fur, this is what it would look like, I would think. Like, it's just gonna be so weird on a hat. But I think the fox ones are my favorite color-wise. Because they've got like some black tips. Yeah. So that was my plan with those. I haven't actually knit anything hat-wise for baby yet. I lied. I did one in California, I think. But I've been more into the onesies. Again, because baby's due in May. So how many hats do they really need for a summer baby in Arkansas? I don't know. But yeah, that's in my fringe bag. My favorite pin is this one. This is Knitting Girl. And then she's attached to her little ball of yarn. Like, so cute. Yeah. Okay. That's all for my knitting. We have a whole bunch of winners from CALs that we did. I think I'll do them at the very end after the life updates. And yeah. Okay, so that's all the knitting. Life updates. Holy cow, guys. So much has changed in 2 months. Oh, my back is hurting me. So pregnancy is going really well. Like I said, we're 19 and a half weeks now. So on Friday we will be 20 weeks, which is halfway there. If you go the full 40 weeks. So far I had no morning sickness, like, whatsoever, which I was so thankful for. Lately I've been like, my back has been killing me. The nurse at my last appointment last week, I went in and they just, like, they look for baby's heartbeat on the Doppler machine, or they listen for it, I should say. So most of your appointments, you don't actually see baby. You're not doing ultrasounds. Excuse me. So she found baby's heartbeat. right away. And she's like, has your back been hurting? And I was like, how did you know? You know, like, I didn't say anything to her about my back hurting yet. And she was like, well, baby's laying right up against your spine, like right on your back. You know, baby's kicking the Doppler machine. So she's like, I can only imagine how much it hurts. So I was like, oh, like, I was so glad to have a reason or to know why my back's been hurting. Because nothing that I do helps it except for lay down with a heating pad. But I have to be like fully laying down. I can't like sit on the couch with the heating pad. And so she said it'll just be, you know, it's just a matter of time until baby finds a different location that baby wants to hang out in. But she's like, maybe get a massage, try the heating pad, you know, like keep doing what you're doing. But really, there's nothing. So it's like, my back is so squirmy because it hurts. But if that's my only pregnancy symptom, like, I will happily take a sore back if it means that I'm, you know, having a healthy pregnancy. So, I don't want to complain about that too much, but if you see me squirming during this video, that's why. It also doesn't help that I'm just sitting on the bed. Like, I don't have anything to support my back right now. But yeah, pregnancy's going well. I don't think I had any other real symptoms. I don't sleep well at night, so I just can't sleep. Like, I usually stay awake till like midnight, and then I'll lay down. We also have side note, we have a 14-year-old boxer who has lived like way past her life expectancy. And we brought her inside for the winter because it's too cold outside. She was outside with her partner, who was this big fluffy Malamute, and he passed away. He was 10. He passed away last month, I think. And so, you know, he would keep her warm because they would cuddle together, and he had all that fur and that thick coat. But now that he's gone, like, the boxer she's got short hair, so she's got no coat on her. And she's 14, and she's old, and I just didn't want to leave her outside all by herself. Like, she would just freeze to death. So, we decided for the winter, we'd bring her inside. So she, right now, she's just camped out by the wood stove. That's where she lives. We put her bed right next to the wood stove, and she doesn't really get off it. She probably sleeps, like, 22 hours a day, maybe even 23. She gets off of her bed to eat, to drink, and to tell us that she has to go out. So she has to go out at night, like every hour and a half, which is super annoying. But she's 14, she's earned it, and I don't sleep anyways. So normally I stay up till like midnight, and then I'll take her out to pee, and then I'll come to bed, and then I have to get up with her at like 1:32, let her out to pee. And then Tim wakes up at like 3:15 to go to work. He gets up at like 3:15 and leaves at like 4:15. So then he takes her out right before he goes, which means I can sleep from like 1:30 to 6, sometimes 7. And then I'll let her out, and then I'll go back to bed. So we say, like, we're just practicing for baby, because we're gonna have to be up, you know, every hour and a half, hour, I don't know, whatever. But I had been thinking I could store up sleep now for when baby comes, but no sleep for me. But again, I will happily take not sleeping and having a sore back for a healthy baby. So, because we waited all these years to have some sort of pregnancy symptoms, so I'll take them. So, yeah, so really those are my only pregnancy symptoms. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. We're not going to find out the gender. Next week, or the 15th, so like 2 weeks, we go in for the anatomy scan. So they're going to look at like the baby's heart and lungs and brain and make sure all of that is developing on schedule. So that we'll actually get to see the baby then. And Tim's going to go to that one. He hasn't been to a single ultrasound yet, just the way it worked. Like, we had 2 ultrasounds, out in California, but baby didn't look like anything other than like a watercolor painting. And then we had one maybe a month and a half, probably a month ago. Yeah, our 15-week ultrasound we had. And he was supposed, like, I scheduled it on the day he was off, and then he got called in for training that day. So my girlfriend went with me instead. And that one was the first one where baby looked like a baby. And was like wiggly and moving around, and that one was super fun, and so I was super bummed that Tim had to miss it. So this one we definitely scheduled on a day he's off, and he's really looking forward to it. So that's all the baby news. House news. Okay, so we live in a tiny house, if you don't know, or if you didn't watch my earlier podcasts. So normally, like, our tiny house has 2 lofts. One right above where I am now, which is the storage loft, and one above the entryway door, which was the sleeping loft. And it was fine when it was just Tim and I. You know, we have a ladder that we go up to, and the bed was up there. But you would have to crawl from, like, you'd go up the ladder, and then crawl across the loft floor to get to the bed. So really, all you did up there was sleep, or, like, you could sit up. It's an A-frame shed, so you could sit up and, like, read. But you couldn't ever walk around or do anything really up there. So, again, it was fine for Tim and I, but not fine with the baby. Because we're going up a ladder and not stairs. You have to, like, hold on to the ladder and, you know, climb up. You can't really do that with a baby in one arm, you know, and trying to climb up the rungs. You can't really do it when you're 9 months pregnant and huge, you know, trying to hold yourself out because your belly's so big. And you can't climb across the floor holding a baby or with the belly dragging on the ground. So, once I got back, you know, we started thinking about, okay, what do we want to do to rearrange the tiny house to get a bedroom downstairs? So we came up with this idea that we have right now, and the idea didn't last very long. But basically, the room I'm in right now used to be the kitchen. Like, if I shift you guys over, oh, sorry, there's still kitchen cabinets and the old sink. Okay, you're back. So, it used to be the kitchen, so we thought we would just push the kitchen to the middle of the tiny house and put the bedroom back here. Well, that plan, it would work. It would be okay. If that was going to be our final plan, we would take out the kitchen cabinets and all that. But plans changed because my grandparents decided that they would put an addition on the tiny house. My grandpa is a retired carpenter, and so he wanted a project to do, and he'd been asking us, you know, for a while if we wanted to do this addition. We kept saying, yeah, but we don't have the money for it. You know, so we were just going to make it work in the tiny house because we don't do debt. So if we don't have the money for something, we can't do it. As much as we wanted to add on to the tiny house, we didn't have the cash for it, so we just weren't going to do it. So we would just, you know, make something else work. But they generously decided to pay for it. And so they're adding on a bedroom, a mudroom, like it'll have the new entryway, and then a bathroom. So right now we have an outhouse, which, I don't know, I like the outhouse because we're out in the middle of nowhere, and so you go out to go to the bathroom, and it's like, you just see all the stars, and I like it. I don't like it when it's 10 degrees and freezing and windy or raining or snowing and you have to walk all the way from the house to the outhouse. Then it's not so fun. But anyways, we're gonna have a real bathroom. My parents are putting in a well, so we'll have running water because right now we don't. We do like rainwater catchment for all of the animals outside. And then for inside, we get water at the free hot springs in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So we have like drinking water and dishwater and all that. We just don't have running water. So Tim and I shower at the gym. And I mean, for baby, like for the first year, they don't really need a bathtub, like to be in a real bathtub. You know, we could just use the water that we have for drinking for that. But then eventually we're gonna want to have running water anyways. So my parents are taking care of that for us for Christmas. So the bathroom will have running water, and I'm super excited about it. And then we'll move. So right now the kitchen's like in the middle of the tiny house. The kitchen will come back here where the bed is, because the bed will go in the bedroom. So everything in the tiny house right now is like temporary. I mean, there's like dressers in the middle of the room. It's a hot mess. Because we didn't get to finish putting in, like we were going to wall off this back room to be the bedroom. But then since we're doing the addition, we're not. So it's just a mess right now. It's usable. It's functional. I mean, we have a bed to sleep on. We have a closet. Like, we have a kitchen. Everything works. It's just, it's not how it's going to be final. So, yeah. So the addition is coming along great. We've got all the walls framed up. We have one more wall of siding to put on, and then we can start doing the electrical and the fun stuff. So, yeah, it's too cold this week to work on the addition. And this week, Tim and I have to go down to Houston. His dad passed away, like 3 days ago. Which it was coming. I mean, he was bedridden and really sick. But it's been coming for so long that you kind of just get used to it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. But he finally passed. I mean, he passed away. And it's super sad, you know, that he's gone. But at the same time, like, he was on constant morphine. He was hallucinating. He wasn't well, and he wasn't going to get well. And so at least this way he's not in pain. Because he was in really bad pain before. So today's Sunday. I think he passed away on Thursday. The service is going to be on Thursday in like 4 days. So we're going to go down on Wednesday, and we'll be down there from Wednesday to Sunday, I think. You know, just helping out his sister. His sister was the primary caregiver for both his parents, and he lost his mom back in October, and his dad now. So we're going to go down and, you know, just see how we can support his sister for the couple days that we're down there, and go to the service on Thursday. So that put a damper in, you know, the working around here plans. But my grandparents are going to take care of the farm, and we'll take the boxer dog with us, you know, so that way my grandparents don't have to take a dog out to pee every hour and a half. But yeah, so we're dealing with that. There'll be lots of knitting time on the plus side. On the other plus side, there's an IKEA in Houston. We don't have an IKEA. I think the closest one here is Memphis, and that's like 3.5 hours away. So to have a reason to go to IKEA, and we can get all the stuff for the addition that we need, or some of the stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And even though it's gonna, you know, it's not a fun trip down, but at least there'll be some things to look forward to. So then we'll come back. Tim gets 2 weeks off for bereavement, or like a week and a half. So once we get back, he'll still have like 5 days off. So we're gonna try to really work on the tiny house while he's off, and just maximize his time being here. Because I'm not allowed to lift anything heavy or do anything. So my chores, or like my responsibilities for the addition, is like handing my grandpa screws, or using the drill and screwing something in, or like the nail gun. But I'm not allowed to lift anything. I'm high risk pregnancy. So I'm not allowed to lift anything, to do anything really physical. And it's so hard because I know, like, I can go lift 2x4s. I could, you know, climb up on a ladder and nail that in. Or, like, I can do all this stuff, but I can't because I'm pregnant. And so it's hard to limit myself and say, even though you physically could do something, you shouldn't. So that's been really hard for me. And then that leaves just my grandparents to work on the addition. And so you know, I keep thinking like, oh, well, they're in their 80s, like they shouldn't be doing it either. So, you know, we asked my grandpa if he'd want to hire like a day laborer, but he doesn't want to do, I think he doesn't want to have any extra help because he likes to take a lot of breaks. And so he couldn't take his breaks if he had, you know, help that was on the clock. So he likes having Tim there to help because Tim is, you know, 6'4", like this big dude, and he can get up, you know, into places that my grandpa can't. And Tim doesn't mind taking breaks with my grandpa. So, Tim will have a few days off after we get back from Houston. So we're going to try to at least get the rest of the walls up and the door in, the front door in. So that way we can start heating the space while we work in it. Because it's just, when it's like 15 degrees outside and windy, it's too cold. I mean, your fingers don't work. Like, it's too cold to work. But it's not going to get any warmer anytime soon. So, we're kind of stuck there. So anyways, Houston's coming up, working on the tiny house. I think that's all. The 15th we have our anatomy scan. Yeah, so this is a longer episode because I have a lot to catch you guys up on. Alright, let's do winners before this episode gets way too long. So, we have 3 different categories that we have podcast winners for. The first one is the sweater cowl. It is over as of today. I'm going to close the thread. We did a year-long knit garment along. So garments like, baby garments would count. Like, it's not really a sweater, but it was a garment. So baby pants would have counted if I was allowed to enter. You know, baby onesies, totally fine to put in. You know, big sweaters you could do. Anything that a real life person could wear, we counted. So, and I was originally doing this with Jessamine of the Knitted Towel. So we were alternating, you know, who had finished objects, who had chatter, and then we decided just to each do it on our own because it was too hard to keep track of, you know, who has what this month. So she has prizes in her group, and I was supposed to have prizes in my group, but I've been so behind on pulling for those. So from the sweater group, for the third quarter, because I was doing prizes for every quarter. The third quarter, which was July through September? August. Yeah, July through September. I pulled a winner, and that winner is Laughing Stitches. And Laughing Stitches in Wisconsin. And so she was number 58, post number 58. So Laughing Stitches, if you're watching this, congratulations. I will send you out a skein of yarn and a project bag. Just get in touch with me and give me your mailing address and your full name. You can contact me on Instagram or Ravelry. That's fine. For any of the winners, contact me there. Excuse me. For the fourth quarter, so October to December, the winner is Asteride. It's Asteride. And she's in Portugal. So go ahead and congratulations. Get in contact with me and I will mail you a skein of yarn and a project bag to Portugal. And then I pulled, so that was the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and then I picked a winner from the beginning to the end. So if you had entered in the first quarter or second quarter, you still had another chance to win. And that winner is Y the L Knot. So it's Y and then the letter L and K-N-O-T. And she's in Quebec, Canada. So congratulations to all of you guys. I'm so sorry I wasn't on top of it more for pulling winners, but better late than never. Hopefully you guys haven't given up on the podcast and you still watch it. And that way you'll see if you won or not. Okay, I'm going to take a drink and then we have 2 more winners. Ooh, it's tangy. Okay. I had knit the Can shawl as a test knit. It is designed by Kefren Pritchett of Kefren Designs. And she graciously said she would donate a copy of the pattern to one winner. So we had a thread open. I think I'd asked you guys to tell me, you know, your favorite shawl pattern. Something like that. So people commented. And the winner is Family Diva. And she's in Texas. So I will get in contact with Kefren and have her send a pattern over to Family Diva. If you haven't got your pattern, I don't know, in the next like 2 weeks, get in contact with me because I probably just forgot to contact Kefren with everything that's going on. So again, Family Diva in Texas, congratulations, you get a copy of that pattern. And last but not least, I had a thread open asking, what are your favorite baby knits? And I'm going to leave this one open because I still want more baby knit suggestions. And some of these, like, I know the baby vertebrae, this one, the pattern was suggested too. So I just want to see what you guys like to knit for babies. But I pulled a prize for that one, and this winner is Ostruska. I have no idea how to say this. It's Ostruszka, and she is in North Carolina. So go ahead and get in contact with me, and I will happily send you out a skein of yarn as well. So those are all of our winners. Congratulations, and thank you for participating in our cowls and just our threads. I'm not sure for 2018 what we'll do, if we'll do anything, just with baby coming. I don't want to get behind again. So I'm not going to announce anything for 2018 today, but it's a possibility, it's an idea. We'll see. Now that I'm back and settled in Arkansas, I will try not to be another 2 months without podcasting. Yeah, it's just, the tiny house is crazy. There's no real space to podcast. Like, I could sit on our couch, but that's in like the dark corner of the house. And it just has overhead lights, which don't really show. If there's not daylight, I don't know. The best place for it is here on the bed, but this is not comfortable. So we'll see. But I'm still going to try to do like every other week. We'll see. No promises. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking it out. We're at an hour plus. So I appreciate you guys just spending your day with me. I hope you have a fantastic New Year's Eve and New Year's. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. I'm Jessica Ruth Knits there. If you want to buy some yarn at a discounted price, Jessica Ruth Knits D-Stash is my D-Stash page. And I have just skeins of yarn that I'm not going to use, or they're not my colors, since we're trying to make room for baby. You know, up until now I've had a huge yarn stash, and I love it. All of this, I mean, every single one of these projects has been from stash, and so that has been such a blessing to not have to buy yarn and just to be able to go shopping in my stash. But that said, I'm destashing some, not nearly. I will still have stash for years. So if you guys are interested in buying some, Jessica Ruth Knits D-Stash is my D-Stash page. And then yeah, on Ravelry I'm Sergeant Griff's Girl, but I'm most active on Instagram. So if you want to follow me and you don't, go ahead and follow me there. Thank you again. Have a great week, and I will talk to you guys later. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.